Gopala Astrology channel, where the science meets astrology for common man's understanding. Subscribe and stay tuned to this channel for continued astrological updates. Hello, welcome to Gopala Astrology channel, ladies and gentlemen, once again. Thanks for all your overwhelming support for this channel, and I'm very excited to make more and more knowledge-based videos for all of you. And today we are going to have a very interesting topic about the real planet, which is going to give the money in our horoscope. Money, or the real liquid cash, or the properties, or the wealth. That is something which you are going to buy from the money. Anything that you can buy from the money is going to be explained by one particular planet, as clearly explained by the great research work of Mr. Greenstone Lobo. All right, so I'm going to go through one by one and explain to you guys the relationship between the classical astrological way of understanding from where the wealth comes in the horoscope, how to analyze it, and then I will link it up with this planet X, which is called Kubera, as explained by Greenstone Lobo. Please stick on to this video until the end, and you will really understand something new today, and you can apply to your own chart, and then you will find that the planet X is really giving you money in this particular area of your life, and then you can focus on that area of life, and then you can become more richer, and you can focus on accumulating the wealth in that particular part of your life. All right, so let's go to the actual video, friends. As explained to you guys in the beginning of the introduction, we are going to talk about planet X, which is in Indian terms known as Kubera, or the real giver of money, in terms of Greenstone Lobo's research work. All right, so we are going to study what is this particular zone, which is called the Kuiper belt, and then what is this centaur, and we will understand a little bit about the astronomy of it, and then we will actually go into the real case studies and details of planet X, and we will understand how it gives wealth in your horoscope. All right, so this is Kuiper belt actually. So what is this Kuiper belt? So during the formation of solar system, we were having some of the debris that were left out during the formation of the planets. Some of them were left out as it is, which couldn't become bigger planets, and they are actually lying in the outer part of the solar system, especially between the path of Neptune, which is shown as a violet color path here, and then the Pluto, which is red color path. The orbit of Pluto is highly eccentric, and there are so many clusters of bigger boulders of rocks and stones which are there in this area. So what did our Greenstone Lobo do? So he studied astronomy before introducing astrology. So he found that there are certain missing planets when he wanted to understand the classical astrology horoscope of certain celebrities of this world, and he found that he assumed that there should be certain planets in this particular zodiac sign, which has made these celebrities very famous. And that's what he did, and based on that, he came into a conclusion that there are three bodies which are in the Kuiper belt that he needs to study with NASA, the place where they are there, and then he is going to link up that with our Indian sidereal system. That's the great work that Greenstone Lobo has done it, and I'm going to use that in this video to explain to you, especially planet X. Okay, so he came out with planet X, Y, and Z. So we will cover Y and Z in the next upcoming two videos, and today we are going to focus mainly on planet X. All right, so now you can see that this Kuiper belt has these bodies which are having highly eccentric orbits. It can go around and it can take years. Some of them take 60 years. It depends on the orbit of the particular centaur. So please note that whatever you see in this Kuiper belt, these bodies are called centaurs. Okay, and some people call it as the dwarf planets, especially like Pluto, but by and large they are called as centaurs. Okay, so in that today our centaur is going to be planet X or Kubera for the point of discussion, and I just took the screenshot from the NASA website itself. This particular centaur, planet X, which is conveniently labeled by Greenstone Lobo, is technically known as 2007 RH283 in the NASA website. Okay, this is the website address and details that I took the screenshot. The word 2007 here represents that this was discovered in this year of 2007 December, and it was done by the team of Helen Pravado and others. All right, so this is the real part of the planet X, which is not the planet X which generally is known in astronomy, but this is the planet X of Greenstone Lobo. All right, so let's understand the technicality of this in astrological terms. Okay, imagine you go to a bank. All right, the bank manager is going to review your check if it is a high amount I'm talking about. Okay, small amounts they don't even bother. So if you bring an amount of like $10,000, she's going to check whether this check is perfectly all right. She's verifying the signature, and she says, yes, this perfect check is good, and you can please go and collect your cash in the cashier counter. Right? She's not going to give you the cash, but there is somebody called cashier in a safe enclosure sitting there and distributing the wealth, right, or money. And that is exactly equivalent to the concept of Lakshmi being the bank manager and Kubera being the cashier. All right, so Kubera is just a cashier. He follows the instructions of goddess Lakshmi, and based on our karma palam, based on our karmic efforts of the past life and present life as well, we are going to be given the result in the form of cash. All right, please understand, Lord Kubera is going to control the entire stock exchange. All the liquid cash that you see in this world is fully controlled by Lord Kubera. If this one planet is well placed in your horoscope, ladies and gentlemen, you are going to be wealthy. You are going to be healthy in terms of vitamin M. Okay, vitamin M is all given by Kubera or planet X. Now, the details of this is given by Greenstone Lobo in this manner. It is actually called Plutus or Pan-Horus in Greek terminology. Okay, Pan-Horus has been used by Westerners for a long period of time, but it was not very well defined in sidereal system. Okay, now you should take this as the god of wealth and Kubera, and all the personal possessions that you all have today is all given by this particular planet. Okay, materialistic success, luxuries of life, any opulences that you have, the financial freedom, and anything under the sun which you can buy by money is all given by planet X. Okay, so only when you understand this planet in your horoscope very well, you can appreciate what it is. I started understanding this and embracing it since last 2.5 years, and I have applied this in my consultations, and I am finding amazing results. I can see that this planet, when it is properly placed and understood in the horoscope, you can understand the person's wealthiness. All right, so please note that it takes 64 years for this planet X to go around the sun, and it is actually the original ruler of Taurus. Okay, Taurus becomes the own house, and it's not Venus anymore. All right, Venus only is ruling Libra, which is a very artistic and beauty planet of beauty, and the Venus is controlling all that. So now the exaltation happens in all the signs except the zodiac sign of Leo and Scorpio. So that's a good news. So most of us have this planet in a good position. It all depends on your lagna or the ascendant, and the location of this planet from the ascendant makes a big difference. All right, so let's study a little bit more in a diagrammatical form. Here, the deepest exaltation points for planet X is actually Aquarius and Pisces. Okay, why Aquarius and Pisces? It stays there for a very long period of time. Very long period of time. It's going to stay here. I'm going to give a screenshot of that slide shared by Greenstone Lobo about the placement of planet X in different years. We will come to that towards the later part of the video. But as of now, you must understand that planet X gets very deeply exalted in these two houses. And then the special, I have given a blue color here for Capricorn and Libra. The reason is because this planet X is going to stay for a very short period of time here. So 64 means roughly it should spend 5 years in every zodiac sign. But actually, because of the very eccentric path, as I showed you in the previous slide, it is going to have, it is getting a chance to spend more time in a particular zodiac and less time in another zodiac. All right. So now in Capricorn and Libra, it spends less period of time, but it also gives a very good exaltation results and very high degree of richness is seen in the people born with this Capricorn and Libra combination, and they are of very rare kind. Like people like Dhirubhai Ambani is born when Capricorn, planet X is going to the zodiac sign of Capricorn. All right. So these two are very rare sign, and of course Taurus becomes the original ownership sign for planet X. All right. So let us see the debilitation points. Unfortunately, it doesn't do well in these two houses because you can understand Aquarius becomes the deepest exaltation point, and exactly opposite has to be a debilitation zodiac sign. In the same way, the fall house is opposite to that of Taurus. Taurus is the ownership house for planet X, and it gets debilitated in Scorpio. Only these two signs are quite unfortunate. The people who are really born in this will struggle for money in their lives. I have seen this very practically. All right. Now, let's go to a little bit aspect of classical astrology, which are the planets and which is the house that gives money as per classical Indian astrology or the sidereal astrology. Okay, so please understand the planets in second house, the fifth house, 8th house, I will tell you in a specific way, 9th house and 11th house. These are the houses related to money. Okay, always relate them to the money. And you must know that planets which rules these houses are called money planets. Okay, and now I told you that 8th house is having an exception. 8th house is all about sudden money. It can be a winning of a lottery, for example, or gaining of money through the death of somebody. That means the person is a person like a father or father-in-law passes away, or mother-in-law passes away, and they write the will, and then they say that this property goes to so and so, and this money can come in this form. That's all about the eighth. The 8th house represents death as well. Okay, so now the 4th house is all about the conveniences and parental inheritance. Okay, and 7th house is about marriage and partners, and also kind of business travels. So now let's go into a little bit more detail of each of these categories. Let's talk about the second house. Okay, second house means what? Anything that you value. Okay, storage of wealth happens always in the second house. Second house also represents the family. The income that you are going to gain and save it is also seen here. So why I am talking about these things is because I'm going to later connect that planet X into each of these houses, and you must understand that second house is also representing your self-earned financial prosperity. It's all about self-earned money. Now, in the same way, fifth house is called Lakshmi Sthanam, right? So this kind of luck can come through your speculative businesses like buying stocks and shares, trading, and unexpected gains such as even lottery is also seen in fifth house if you are very lucky. And this is the house of Purva Punyam. That means whatever the good deeds that we have done in the past is all coming through this fifth house. Okay, and it also represents our creativity. It also represents our children. Okay, so this is very, very important. Now, the next one is the ninth house. So ninth house is called Bhagyasthana or the luck house, and anything that you have gained from the fifth house is seen. Fifth of fifth is ninth, and that is a very strong financial beneficial house. It also represents your master degrees. It also represents long distance journeys and so on and so forth. But ninth house is extremely important. Why I'm saying this is, if your planet X happens to go there, you will you will be very very rich, and it should be in the exaltation house. Okay, so the next one is 11th house of incoming gains. These are large sums of money that you're going to receive through the network, your whatever efforts that you are going to put through 10th house of karma sthanam. The gain of karma is the lava, right? So the incoming gains, all that comes to your life through your hard work and capacity, is seen through 11th house. Okay, it's very very important. And 8th house, as I told you, it's the house of inheritance. Through the death of somebody, you may get it. You may even find a hidden money somewhere, and suddenly you saw that the money coming up, and you may find money which is hidden below the ground. I'm just telling you that 8th house is all below the ground or sudden events sorry, in our lives. Okay, now there is something called Dhana Yoga as per our classical astrology. So this particular Dhana Yoga happens in any of these combinations. Again, I am going to define this and we will later relate it to planet X. So now, the Lord of Lagna, the ascendant Lord, and the second house Lord, if they are together, if there is an association of them with 5th, ninth, or 11th, right? So it's very important. The ascendant Lord, the second Lord, if they are associated with any of these houses Lords, that is 5th, ninth, and 11th, then it forms a very strong Dhana Yoga. The person will not have any problem of money throughout their lives. Okay, this is the definitions all given in classical Indian astrology. Okay, when the Lord of the second house associates with purely the 5th, ninth, or 11th Bhava, okay, here ascendant is not involved, still there is a very powerful Dhana Yoga, because second house is all about storage of wealth. 5th house, ninth house, and 11th house brings a lot of money in different forms, as I told you, and this forms a powerful Dhana Yoga. The next one is the Lord of 5th house associates with the ninth and 11th. It also forms a beautiful, beautiful Dhana Yoga. Okay, so the next one is the Lord of ninth and 11th. There is a connection between ninth and 11th. So you can rank them in this order. Which is the most powerful of all? When your ascendant is involved, you should give the highest priority. Okay, the next one is the everything excluding the lagna, and then this one excluding the second house and lagna, and this one is purely ninth and 11th. So if you remember this, according to sage Parashar Maharshi, the Lord of second house and 11th house are always connected with Lakshmi Yoga. Okay, even if there is an exchange of houses, the second lord in the 11th, 11th lord in the second house, there is a parivartana yoga between the second and 11th. The man accumulates a lot of money in his life. Okay, now why is it so important that 11th house plays a big role? As I told you, 11th house is always the gain of the 10th house. Okay, it's very important. Whatever profits that you gain finally can be seen by the owner of the 11th house, the place where the 11th lord is being placed, and who is looking into the 11th house, which planet aspects the 11th house, and also which is the planet that occupies the 11th house. So you must consider all these planetary aspects on the 11th house, and then you can see how much money a person can earn from the 11th house. Okay, so keep these factors in mind, and now let's put planet X in the game. So when you put planet X in the game plan, it gives a lot of sense. You all guys can go back and type www.greenstonolobo.com and you enter your birth details there, and you will get a beautiful green color coded chart there, and from there you know where is planet X. And I'm going to just quickly brief you where this planet X, when placed, can give you wealth and money. Okay, again, I'm going to go for a very hypothetical situation of Aries ascendant horoscope. You can always change this number 1 to any of these houses, okay, any of these zodiac signs. I'm just taking a hypothetical easy situation to explain, and you apply this to your particular, your ascendant can be anywhere, whether it is in Aries, Taurus, or Gemini, or etc., until Pisces, it doesn't matter. So you just go back and apply to your horoscope and see where is planet X. Okay, so I'm going to give, if you are very interested, I will give you the hyperlink of that Greenstone Lobo website. You can always go in and key in your birth details. Okay, so let us say a person is born in Aries ascendant. So for him, the Taurus becomes the second house. Okay, second house is again the house of wealth and things like that. Now, let's try to understand if this planet X is placed in the Lagna, right, or the ascendant. What happens? He is going to earn the money through his self efforts. Okay, the second house is all savings, and that is the planet X's own house. And if this planet for this man happens to be in the Lagna or the ascendant, he's going to accumulate and save a lot of money through his self appearance, personality, and all his hard work. Okay, just by the appearance and personality, this man gains a lot of money. Okay, now let's understand if the planet X stays in second house of wealth itself, and it's Taurus, for example. It can be any house. I'm just telling you the second house for the Lagna. So it is going to give a lot of money from the family. Okay, this person can do a food business and make money. Anything related to second house, speech. Second house represents speech, teaching, and advising, consultation, giving consultation. A man can make money. Okay, then let us say the planet X is placed in the third house. When planet X goes to the third house, you are going to make money through your communication. You may be a very good writer. Okay, whatever comes to the third house represents hands, right? So whatever comes to this third house, you can make small short trips and do sales, right? Communication. And you can do any kind of skill and handwork. Like, for example, you can be an artist, right? You can make money through your paintings, and so you may be very good in doing some handicrafts and very creative type of objects you are going to create, and that is what is going to give you the money. Okay, the fourth house represents, if planet X goes to the fourth house, it represents you may earn money through your mother's inheritance. Again, mother may give you money. Okay, you may invest a lot of money in your real estate, and you may have a lot of properties, landed properties, and flats or whatever, and you are going to make money. You may get the rental income, you may sell and make money, and so on and so forth. Even it represents the movable assets like cars. You may be a person who is working as a car dealer, right? It may be your business. You buy and sell cars and you make money. So whatever is related to the fourth house comes into picture when planet X goes to that particular house. And let's say planet X is in the fifth house. Again, fifth house is a lot of represents your intelligence. Okay, through your intelligence, you will earn money, and you will give a lot of speculative businesses in your life. You may invest in stocks and shares, and so on and so forth. It's a spiritual practice and all that. It is also possible, and your children may give you wealth. As you are growing older, you may get money from your children, right? So your children may be very rich. And let's go to the sixth house. If you put planet X in the sixth house, okay, I'm just assuming that planet X is the ruler of your second house of wealth going to the sixth house. So sixth house, again, it can represent on a positive front. It may be a doctor. Okay, he is healing the patients and he is getting money from them. Okay, and if it is a debilitation house, for example, for planet X, in case if this sixth house becomes a debilitation sthanam for planet X, he may lose money also. He may take a lot of loans and he may lose money, and he may lose money for his health. The person may get sick very often, and he may have to spend a lot of money if planet X is placed in the sixth house and it is debilitated. So all the general rules that we normally apply for planets in the classical astrology, you can assign the same rules for planet X. Only difference is you must consider the planet X is ruling Taurus. Okay, that's very important. So whatever becomes the Taurus for you, for example, if a person is born in the ascendant of Scorpio, it becomes the seventh lord, right? Seventh lord being placed in the different houses, you have to apply the same principles. All right, let's continue our journey with the Aries zodiac sign so that we will complete one cycle, and you should translate that to your own individual horoscopes and your individual ascendants. All right, so if planet X is placed in the seventh house, being the lord of second, what it does is it makes your spouse a rich person. You may earn money through your business partners, dealings, and foreign trades, and things like that. Okay, so this is very important to understand that seventh house is all about spouse and partners. Okay, then next one is eighth house. It is coming through inheritance. Okay, the death of a person gives you money, and then there is a lot of hidden things that is representing the eighth house. You may get for example, there may be a pot of gold in your plot, in your area, in your house, in backyard. You never know. One day when you are digging for some purpose, you may find wealth. I'm just giving an example. So eighth house is all that is hidden deep and something which is sudden also. Okay, for example, you may get hit by a car. Okay, a rich man's car comes and hits. It may be his mistake, and you may claim insurance and you may gain money. Right? So that is also seen with planet X in the eighth house if it is exalted. Okay, let's go to the ninth house. The ninth house is Bhagyasthanam, as I already told you, as per classical astrology. So you may do a lot of higher studies. You may acquire master degrees, and through that particular position that you may get, you may earn a lot of money. Okay, you may be a spiritual guru. You may collect a lot of money for your organization. It may be even a non-profit organization, but still you are associated with money. All right, so you make a lot of foreign long distance travels, and that can also bring you luck and money. So father may give you money. Ninth house is related to father as well, as per classical Indian astrology. So you may make money in that form. And then let's put planet X in the 10th house. 10th house is your karma sthanam. This is a very powerful place. If it is an exaltation house, at least if it is not, if your 10th house is not Scorpio and Leo, then definitely planet X, if it is placed, it is going to give you a profession or a work that gives you a lot of money through your hard work. And of course, 11th house is the gain of the 10th house. Through your job that you do, you're going to accumulate money. All right, so there is a lot of talk about 12th house. Even if the planet X is placed in the 12th house, it can give you money through foreign lands, right? So foreign sources could be the income sources for you guys if you have this in a well-placed planet X. Okay, so you can be working in a hospital and you may make money. You may be working in an isolated lab. 12th house represents isolated lab. You may be earning money. 12th house represents jail as well. You may be a jailer working for a jail and you make money through that. So I'm just giving a hypothetical situation. Any of these houses, the placement of planet X, if you carefully analyze whether it is exalted or debilitated, then you can decide how much money a person can earn. And even in the gocharam, that means in the transit, when it comes to the important houses of your horoscope chart, it always gives you money. So since the planet takes a long period of time, 64 years, so we don't have any details about dashas and antardashas of this planet X. So we always go by we just go by the transit results alone. Okay, so there is no dashas and antardashas for planet X as of now. There may be a few more research work that is required. We don't know whether it may happen in future. But as of now, we consider the planet X position from the horoscope point of view, that is in the natal chart, and then also we consider the transit results. Okay, now let's go to the actual case studies and apply the theoretical knowledge that we learned. So I have just put up the first horoscope as our case study today for Asia's richest man as of August 2022. I'm making this video on 20th August 2022. Definitely, Mr. Gautam Adani is considered as the richest man in Asia. So, what makes him richest man in Asia? Look at his ascendant. His ascendant sign is Taurus, which is the original house of planet X. Okay, and then he has the planet X right there in the second house, and he has to accumulate a lot of wealth, accumulate. So you can go and see his stocks and shares are going high as of now. Okay, suddenly in the last 5 years, his share values have gone very high, and it has given him a lot of money. Okay, there is another concept here that Pluto, he's a 1962 born, and he's born in the gray lizard patch of Pluto, and definitely this 14 degrees Leo can give him some trouble at one point of time in his life when the Gochar Palam or the transit of planet X goes bad from his ascendant. Okay, so that is expected as well, but before that he's going to go and rise to the highest peak level in his career and making in terms of making money. Okay, he's going to accumulate a lot of money with this planet X, which is very, very well placed in zodiac sign of Gemini in green condition. Please understand, Greenstone Lobo chart, when you see whichever planet is green in color, they are the exaltation planets. The ones which are red are debility. I don't see, okay, there is only one planet which is red for Gautam Adani, and the ones which are in black, they are neither good nor bad, they are neutral. All right, so that's how we can interpret planet X in Asia's richest man as on date. Let's go to the second richest man, Mr. Mukesh Ambani. He was born in 1957 April, so it is just before the gray lizard patch. After, if I am not mistaken, after 1957 December, it starts forming the gray lizard patch. That means easily I can say 1958. 58 to 62, that patch is called the gray lizard patch of Pluto. That's another story, and the people who are born in that are really going to have tough times at one point of time in their life, without a shadow of doubt. Now let's analyze where is the planet X for Mr. Mukesh Ambani. So Mukesh Ambani is born in Libra ascendant, and his planet X, 8th lord, goes in the 8th house. Right? So 8th house, as I told you, it's the inheritance or sudden wealth, and it also represents other people's wealth. Right? If you understand properly, his father Dhirubhai Ambani was one of the richest man of his times, and he is one of the best entrepreneurs that India has ever seen, because through his Reliance Industries, and he is the first person to come out with such a huge vision for India. And his father gave him that inheritance and legacy, which is why we can see that planet X is in the 8th house. Now, one more thing you must understand, his stocks and shares also keep growing very fast, because see, 7th house represents other people and 8th house is other people's money. So he always builds capital through going for the public stocks, and that is where Planet X gives very powerful results. Of course, there are so many other Raj Yogas in his horoscope, with Pluto, the second lord in the 11th house, forming a very strong connection of second and 11th combination, and it is green. And this Pluto also has made him the king of stock markets. So he has an empire built from his father. He carried on and then become very rich. All right, so that's the way we should interpret Planet X, and in the eighth house, eighth lord in the eighth house for Mr. Mukesh Ambani. Now the big B. Okay, in fact, through this particular horoscope, all the research work of Greenstone Lobo started. That's what he keeps mentioning in his videos and talks, that Amitabh Bachchan was his real inspiration to carry out and do research work, because he was never satisfied with the classical Indian astrology chart for Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. Because if you just remove these color coded planets, especially the outer planets, planet X, Y, and Z, and of course the Pluto and Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, his horoscope becomes very simple horoscope. You can look at these planetary alignments, all are red in the 8th house except planet Y. Right? So one planet Y is equal to so many negative. That means this one planet Y has healed him. Okay, and planet X, look at this planet X. Fourth lord comes to the Lagna. That means fourth house represents Sukham, happiness, motherland people. So all that name and fame in the motherland comes to his personality. Right? Lagna represents personality, or the ascendant is the self image that we project in our society. And this planet X is in deepest exaltation position in Aquarius, and this Kubera, or the planet X, has made Amitabh Bachchan the Amitabh Bachchan. So it's very important for us to understand this chart, so that you will really start believing and applying Greenstone Lobo's concept. That's how I got really interested with this subject, and then I'm using this in my regular consultations. All right, we should not ignore the world's richest man, who has been richest man for a long period of time. Of course, there are people who comes and beats him, but still he has been the richest man for longest duration of time. And that all happened, let us see how. This is his ascendant according to Greenstone Lobo, then Cancer ascendant, and look at the position of planet X. The Taurus happens to be the 11th house. 11th lord in the 11th house gave him all the wealth. Okay, so this is what makes Bill Gates Bill Gates. Okay, of course there are so many other Raj Yogams that his chart is having, but look at the position of the Lagna and its 11th lord. Definitely all the incoming gains can be explained in his chart through planet X in the deepest, and it's not deepest exaltation, it's its own house. So that's how he is earning money. Of course, there is a planet Saturn, which is exalted in the 4th house, and Pluto. This is in the Eagle avatar, right? So that is also a very powerful Raja Yogam, and he makes money because there is a connection between 5th house Pluto and the 2nd house. I mentioned in the earlier part of the video that 5th house and 2nd house, when they are connected, it also forms a very powerful Lakshmi Yoga or Dhana Yoga. Okay, so that's how Bill Gates is rich. And let's see Warren Buffett. Of course, we cannot ignore this gentleman. And look at what has happened to Planet X. It is very clear. 7th Lord sitting in the 2nd house. See, it's other people's money coming to him easily. It's other people who is giving him the money, right? 7th house is all about other people, and he's saving other people's money, and he's investing everywhere, and he's becoming richer and richer and richer. So planet X is in the 2nd house of accumulation of wealth. So this is another typical example. I'm not going through other yogas. I'm just sticking to the position of planet X. All right. Who should not think about Steve Jobs? He's the man of iPhone. He's the man behind the Apple industries in a detailed way. If you see, Lagna Lord is actually I mean, Lagna is actually the Leo ascendant, and then this man is having 10th house Lord in the 10th house. So all the karma that he does, the profession and the job that Steve Jobs' job, is all making money automatically. So he puts a lot of efforts, and that has given him the fruit. And he is the real maker of money through his hard work and efforts. Okay, and of course he has Pluto in the first house, fourth lord in the first house, exalted, and this also might have even killed him through cancer, because the planet Pluto has gone to his body, right? It could be a poisonous effect. There's a lot of analysis that is required for the other things that happened in his life, but definitely planet X sitting in the 10th house, being the 10th lord, has given him a lot of wealth. Okay, so the next, and perhaps this is the last horoscope I'm going to share in this video. Look at this chart. This is Queen Victoria. She has been the Queen of England when England had the biggest empire that was ever built in the history of mankind. Right? I mean, there is a saying that there was no end for the British Empire, right? So there was no sunset in the British Empire. So right from the Americas until the Australia, everything was captured by the British, right? So what made her so rich? Queen. Look at her Lagna, or the ascendant. It is Taurus, and all the way the Taurus ascendant law, planet X, goes and sits in the deepest exaltation position in Aquarius. So this is what made Queen Victoria the Queen Victoria. And of course, she has the royal combination of Sun and Moon in the same house, and she's born on a new moon day. And other than planet X in the 10th house, the rest of the combinations doesn't tell you that she is Queen Victoria. All right, so this is very, very clear that whenever the planet X goes to the deepest exaltation points, it gives a degree of wealth which you cannot imagine. Okay, so as I told you, I'm going to put a chart. People can take the screenshot of this. It is there in the Greenstone Lobo's website as well, and you can understand where the planet X was located in which year. So how to interpret this, I'm just going to quickly tell you. Planet X in Sagittarius, March 1932 to 1933, December. All right, so it was there in Sagittarius here. Then between 1933 December to October 1943, it was in Aquarius. This is where Amitabh Bachchan was born in 1942. Okay, and so on and so forth. This is how you must interpret. Look at your own horoscope chart, where is planet X placed, and then you will know very well whether it was exalted, or it was in an ordinary exaltation, or deepest exaltation, or unfortunately it may be debilitated. So this is how the wealth comes to you in reality. Please check your horoscope and put your comments. I would be very happy to see your comments, and then we can discuss more and more, and I can make more interesting videos for you guys. So just to summarize this before closing this video, it's the world events are listed here. There was a Black Friday of economic crisis in 1929 when Planet X went into the deepest debilitation point in Scorpio. All right. Then the World War II, of course, World War II came into existence in 1939 to 1945. The Planet X was in exaltation. Okay, so Bse Security Scam that happened at the Planet X was in debilitation in India, Bombay Stock Exchange. There was a huge scam from Harshad Mehta, and that happened whenever the Planet X went into the debilitation. Many people lost their money, and it went even into the extent of people committing suicide. All right, there was a dot-com bubble in year 2000, Y2K. It gave a lot of jobs to many people. Overnight, people were from India. I saw the software engineers were exported there to US, and they started making money during the Planet X in deep exaltation. All right, financial crisis really happened in the year 2008 when Planet X was in deepest exaltation, and of course there is always two sides of the coin that happens. After that, the stock market bounced back, and financial crisis ended up in the same plane when it was in the deepest exaltation house. Okay, the bitcoins were introduced also in the same period of time in the year 2008. Okay, and finally in India, the major money event that happened in history of India, it was demonetization by Narendra Modi in the year 2016, November the 17th, if I'm not mistaken, November the 8th, 2016, where the planet X went to its own house. Okay, and it was the eighth house for Narendra Modi at that point of time. So, with this, I can easily say that Planet X is directly related to the world financial matters, and it gives direct impact in your horoscope. Please go back and check your horoscope and come back to me with your own comments and feedback. All right. If you are new to this channel, first time coming to this channel, please press the subscribe button. I would like to have more and more comments and motivation from you guys. Thank you. Bye bye.